I believe.
What?
And
What intonation?
oh, everybody, my name is Markiplier. Uh, yeah. So this year at Reality Hack, I was very happy to work on a team named Reality Obscura with my guy over here, Dylan. We had an excellent time and we won the gameplay prototyping track, which was a lot of fun to kind of hop into. Every other year, I had done the hardware hack, even though I'm not a hardware engineer or anything like that. So this year, kind of being able to go into my roots again as a game designer was a lot of fun. But yeah, Battlefish. So Battlefish is a fun little project that we made that was, again, for the game design track. And Dylan, you can talk about what you did for the project too in a minute here as well. But so I'll play the nice little video that we have first. Just kind of gives a showcase of the game. The goal of the game design track was to write a design document and build that game and kind of keep that design document updated and keep it within the scope of the project and the timeline that we had, and then present it to the judges with that game design document kind of hand in hand. And the goal was to not move and deviate too far from the original document, which we actually stayed really, really close to, bar a couple small things. But yeah. So yeah, that was the nice little video that we put together. The goal of Battlefish was very simple. To originally in the design document, it was designed as two different players on two different ends of the ship using shared spatial anchors to kind of put them in the same play space together. And the goal was to shoot at each other and also gain the most amount of points. In the center, there's a pool of fish. You take a spear and you try to spear a fish. And once you have a fish, you can either put it towards your bank or to the cannon. Certain fish could be fired into the cannon and shot at the enemy team, which disabled their fishing abilities and disabled their cannon if you shot them. So it was this kind of resource management of understanding, use my fish to fire at the other person, slow them down, or do I use my fish to kind of put them towards my bank and kind of speed me up. Was a lot of fun. The initial goal was, again, player. Hmm? Yeah, so well, you couldn't kill more fish with fish, but you could stop the enemy from fishing with fish. Pretty much load a fish into a cannon and fire. It was a fun idea. The initial goal was that kind of shared spatial anchors with networking. Within the scope, we ended up having to pull out the networking aspect of it just because there's a lot of environmental variables at Reality Hack that were just blocking us from using spatial anchors. Consistent 404 errors on the engine side because of it. It was entertaining to say the least. So instead, we switched to an enemy AI that just sort of would be fishing and also firing at you at random intervals. And if you shot the enemy fishing rod, it would do the same effect of slowing it down. So it was a good bit of fun, but beyond that, it was actually pretty much identical to our original sort of pitch, which was, I loved it. Dylan, you can pop in, say what you worked on with the project because it was so much fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun working on it. I did mostly sound design, and I used Audacity mainly, but I used a little bit of Ableton just because I learned it this year. So why not? But yeah, mostly sound design.
Dylan also integrated all of the 3D assets from our 3D modeler and actually put them in editor, laid them out. So it was also really helpful to just get some previs work while we were working on it. What I did with it was I did a lot of the pure in-engine work, just getting some of the interactions fully flowing, building the fish randomization system, building kind of or designing the reason that my camera's out of focus, designing the sort of interaction flow from the high end of like fish spawns. Where does it go? Where does that data go? Does it go to the cannon? What does it do in the cannon? Where does it go in the bank? We also had Miguel, who worked on some of the other networking and some of the UI logic for the point system that was visible. Jacob worked on a lot of the actual player interactions, like grabbing the spears, throwing the spears, and moving the cannon back and forth. Daniel worked on, or Dan, he worked on the 3D assets and all the modeling. And then you heard from Dylan. But it was a ton of fun. And again, we won the gameplay prototyping track. So great time.
What's fish randomization?
Oh, I was like, what is fish randomization? So it was just the spawn positions of the fish itself and spawning like which point value do they have, what
Okay,
position
okay.
size, what data is just kind of tied to them. And
Okay,
then
cool.
Jacob actually took that system that I made, which just would spawn them in a kind of collision zone and just it put in random positions with their random kind of data assigned to them. And he actually added the like
Okay.
the animation movements and whatnot.
Cool, yeah. Nice, nice.
Any other questions? Yeah. So the bank was sort of just like the high score thing. It was first to 40 points. So whoever got to 40 points first would kind of win the game. So some of the fish, there was two different types of fish, or technically four. Two of them were just like small and large. Large give you more points, small give you less points, as well as the fireable fish were kind of tinted blue and they had higher point values assigned to them as well. So it depends on what you want to do with your fish. You kind of choose whether or not you want to fire a fireable fish or kind of use it for those points. And whatever goes to 40 kind of wins. There was originally plans for more different types of fish, like shockwave fish or like effect fish that would disable your ability to throw spears or maybe drop your fish in hand or something like that or empty your bank. So tons of different opportunities for different types of fish with their assigned values to also be affecting the enemy player. Those didn't make it into the final design though. Uh, So it was still technically anchoring. It just wasn't actually tied to any functions just because of the networking issues. It was definitely the desire for networking. I s- I think I spent a solid like half a day just trying to get it fully connected or at least like transitioning back and forth between two network players and it just refused to. Another one of the kind of big things that we started off with is just like reeling ourselves in from our scope. We spent a good bit of time just overblowing what we wanted, and then we spent a lot of time just back and forth discussing like what if we do this? What if we do this? What if we do this? So it wasn't a difficulty, but it was kind of a major point of just like how much time are we spending on this? A lot because it's important.
I'm curious, what documentation did you read for the spatial anchors system?
Straight metas.
Okay, meta documentation.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just curious.
Yeah, it's messy, I think. I didn't like it. Today.
Mm.
Supposed to. I will be messing with shared spatial anchors more in the future. It's something that I've on and off wanted to play with ever like years ago I worked in like the location-based VR industry and I loved building systems for multiplayer, but it was very different at the time. Like we were using Pico headsets and like merging their position with Vive trackers, even though the game was standalone. Like it was a weird mess. So seeing shared spatial anchors continuously grow was something that I always wanted to play with because I knew it was getting better. But unfortunately, this hackathon ended up not being the case. Yeah, I there was like two different things that merged them together. The first one was me saying just like I wanted to make a mixed reality fishing game before, and then it was either it it was either Dylan or Miguel. I think it was Miguel who just said battleship, and like those two things just kind of did it. It was just like okay, let's. I like these two different sentences. Let's merge them together, and we came to the original idea very quickly. Yeah, of course.
Very cool.
Yeah, the networking fun. Luckily, I think the simplicity of not needing multiplayer in the end made it a lot easier.
Like, did you intend that like both players would just be in like the same room, like
Yeah.
playing this, or
Yeah, that was the goal of the spatial anchors of just, like, separating each ship by, like, 10 or 5 like, 10 or so feet to try to keep them in a basic arena and just have those 2 people running back and forth on their own ship.
I like how there's so much activity,
What was it? What was it?
movement. Sorry, I interrupted you. I was saying that I like that there's so much activity and movement. It looks
Yeah,
like quite a workout.
the goal was chaos, and it definitely had that. It was just like, the first time I was able to, like, fully play through a build, I genuinely, like, started cracking up just because I nearly tripped over my own feet, like, 4 times. So, it was that chaos movement that we really wanted to, and we definitely got it. Be terrible, but great.
That's one way to win a mixed reality game.
Yeah, one way to win a like, a location-based game is just punching your ally, your friend.
It's over, fisherman. I have the high ground.
Yet. Boxing fish next up.
Hello there. Yes.
DJ.
Let me share my screen. Uh, so I was more of like I had more of a minor role in this project actually. I think the rest of my team did very well to like pick up the work, but they're not here today, so I'll sort of be speaking on their behalf. But what we built is a Reboot Anomaly Holdout. It is sort of a mixed reality horror VR game with themes of like Alien and Finance at Freddy's. And basically, you have 1 minute to survive, um, and you have to keep an alien contained by like trapping it. But you have a physical control panel of doing so. So we have like a bunch of buttons and lights on there that you can see while in this mixed reality experience, and you basically just kind of actuate at it to prevent the alien from like getting to you. So we use the Daydream headset, and then we put like a Ruko marker on it to help us like automatically sync up the real world play space with like the virtual one. And I was responsible for the code that actually bridged together the ESP32 input over into Unity via like a network protocol. And so basically, like that communication, I also made sort of a kind of like a simulator so that like while this like hardware control panel was being developed, that our programmers could still have something to work with and like simulate so that they could get the gameplay going while the board was being finalized. And then on the final day, it came together pretty nicely. We got like the big cutout working. The control panel worked pretty nicely. And really, it was like just like it was like one of the best teams I think I've been on the hackathon, just because everybody had their own role. They knew what to do. That's kind of hard to do at a hackathon environment. I feel like the distribution of work is always kind of a challenge,
Hello.
especially if hello, especially if you have people of varying skill levels. But because like the playing field is really level, like Smeeve did like a bunch of art. Jack helped him up on that. Dennis did all the hardware stuff more or less. DFG did a bunch of the gameplay stuff. I did the networking, and it really meshed together pretty well. I'd say for things I learn or take away from this is that there were a few instances where uh, some of our like team members thought that the gameplay was going one way and the others didn't, and then we had to kind of like back up and be like, oh wait, no, we're not gonna. We need to change course. And so that was like a learning experience. The other thing was like I maybe got a bit like tricky with some of the action and like getting something to work. Like I was originally going to use like protobuf for the networking protocol to like allow this really efficient like transmission of data, so like encoding the inputs on one end, decoding them on the other. But for whatever reason, I could not get that to work on the ESP32. Try as I might within the time frame, at least with the protocol we had. So I pivoted from that begrudgingly, but it was a necessary pivot. And yeah, it was very very fun. We got a little nice blend of everything, hardware, software, and then like getting to use somewhat cutting edge tech with the Galaxy XR because I haven't. I don't think many of us used it before. But yeah, pretty proud of the team, and it's pretty cool.
At first, I thought you were saying you're using the Daydream.
You did say
Oh,
Daydream,
no.
and that was.
Oh, sorry.
I was like,
I
"Oh,
meant
I'm just trapping
sorry.
back in time."
That was a real
Galaxy
throwback.
XR. Yeah, no, Galaxy XR. That must have gotten flubbed with the Google part.
Yeah. Daydream was the first headset I fell asleep in. It was so nice.
Oh, wow.
So the cushion was amazing. I was just watching YouTube and
you
I
could-
woke up with it on my face.
I don't know if you could safely fall asleep in this, but like, at least in our game, you know, we're trying to spook you, so keep you on your
Nice.
toes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I'm also pretty proud of the assets we've created because I think these are all mostly modeled by us, like from the like the UI and like the sort of industrial spaceshipy like environment. Like in particular, I worked on this like little like 7 segment or yeah 7 segment display timer thing. That was pretty cool. But yeah, and we won best Qualcomm experience. So that was nice too.
Massive.
Lucio.
I'm curious, because you have so many buttons on the controller, does that mean you guys design the game first and figure out what the controls you want, and then move on to the hardware development, or do you do both in parallel and figure out the buttons as you go?
I think it was done beforehand from what I remember. Like we all gathered around a whiteboard and then they were talking like gameplay for a while and like how the alien would move and progress. And I think that we did like kind of sketch out this button layout on paper and like buttons. Maybe not the exact placement of them, but just like generally like how we would like this like camera mechanism to like or scan for different areas. And then like I think like these buttons down here do more like obstructions or obstacles or something. So and then it gave us a lot of flexibility so that like you know if we didn't end up using some buttons, we would just kind of have them be cosmetic or whatever. So yeah.
How did you onboard the users and teach them? There's like what 10 buttons on there. How do you teach them what each button does in a short period of time?
Yeah, it was mostly yeah, we wanted to get to a tutorial, but with like the looming snowstorm and whatnot, we more or less had I think we had to resort to like a verbal tutorial. So like I mean like I think some of the UI sort of reinforces like the means of how to use the board, if I'm not mistaken. Like this 3x3 grid here corresponds to like that 3x3 grid you have on your control panel. As for the abstractions, I think it's also roughly supposed to follow. Now I remember. So I think there was like some mechanic where like if like you have a trap or like a ability to obstruct the alien, it will light up and you'll see that. So like the game's signal to light up to the board, and then you'll see that within your headset, and then you would press that to kind of counteract that, if I'm not mistaken.
I didn't realize Insight is it also inspired by Iron Lung?
I think so. Yeah. Um,
Cool.
like kind of a combination of like all those like horror games, that kind of thing. Oh, a little side note, fun fact about this that kind of well, I find interesting because it pertains to me. But I remember way back when I was applying for schools in undergrad, I remember my MIT. Oh, hello, Jack. Other Jack. He was on my team and he was really good at this. So props to him, and he can speak if he wants. But I remember as part of my application, I needed Aruka markers, or like I was showcasing a project like DIY VR body track and whatever, and I 3D printed, like I built a script to like generate these 3D printable markers.
Hi, DJ.
I didn't end up getting I didn't end up getting to MIT, but I ended up putting this out again at MIT. So
Nice.
you know, what goes around comes around. So that was a pretty cool little win for me, I guess. But yeah, very cool project. I don't know if Jack, if you want to say any of your personal notes on it.
I just saw you were streaming about it. I'm literally like in the bathroom right now. I just wanted to say hi.
Oh yeah, fair enough, fair enough.
My phone is bugging out, so I think I'm gonna have to leave.
Ah,
But
gotcha.
you know, but I got to say hi. Hopefully,
Ye-
I'll get my headset working sometime in the next month. I don't know.
Fingers crossed. I don't know. Did we have a jump scare,
I
Jack?
don't think we ever actually got around to implementing it. I
Yes.
think it was just
Yeah.
You guys,
it was
I
just
remember you guys
implied.
did.
You know,
Bro,
You
in
ran
this
out of
horror
time.
game.
Yeah.
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 It's
I mean, it's like
the
suspenseful horror, I
suggestion.
guess.
It's a
Implied
suggestion.
horror
Mm.
is still horror.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I gotta head out. It's good talking to you.
All right. See you.
Oh God, my phone. What is happening? Oh my goodness.
For the mixed reality part, I had a question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So for the mixed reality part, did you basically just like have like the bottom of users like field of view like open to the camera and pass through? They can just like see the control panel, or how was that implemented?
Kinda. So the marker on the board. So what's not pictured in the video is that there's like a mini onboarding experience. Well, it'll be fully in pass through, and it says, "Go look at the marker." And then once it's detected, like a green sphere appears over the marker, and you have to just like hold it there, and then it'll lock your like the real world space with like the virtual space. It'll align them, and then you'll see that cut out there. So it's not necessarily just like cut out the bottom 20% of the screen. It's actually like aligning per se the two spaces, like the 3D different spaces, and then doing the cutout like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been working on one for like 3 months. I've been working on the kind of first playable demo that I've had for my game since 2019, but I don't really have it quite ready. Maybe next showcase. But it's been good so far. Yeah, it's been really fun.
I don't have anything like specific to show off again, but I can just like point out that the application that I had shown off in some of the, the show and tells in the past, I did in fact launch at the beginning of last month. So yeah, that's all.
Woo. No, I was a mentor.
Me too. Yay.
Yep. It was really fun. It was very chill. I probably want to continue doing it again in the future because I get to just it's less stress. I don't have to sacrifice sleep, and I don't want to
Oh my
take up
god, yeah.
I don't want to take up opportunities from people who need them more than me. And
Mhm.
I want I just got to like hang out with a bunch of friends and like mess around and stuff. So
Our hotel was great. We had chicken. Um, it was it was so much less stressful than hacking because the year prior I did temp sense with Den and with Dennis and a couple other people that were at this hack. And this year, then Dennis was on Dylan and DJ's team, did all those electronics. He was stressing like crazy and it was like miserable. And then I was just chilling. It was great. I got to see all these fun projects. There's motorized cat ears and all these, and the project next to them was very interesting. It was a very, very different experience to being a hacker, I will say. And the hack felt so much smaller because I got to explore more of it. It felt very odd.
Hey guys. Oh yeah, I can show my projects to my team in hackathon. Um, so I'm gonna stream my screen right now.
Also, I should go back to doing my actual job. I went here to come say hi. I'm gonna go back to going to support mines. Bye bye, guys. Nice seeing you all.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you see the screen? Do you see my screen? Okay, so our project was it's a music video created for a rapper called Cass Cross. So originally we went to DOVR, which was like creating immersive video, and in the process we decided to make it more complicated to not just a video but some type of experience. So what we did, firstly we shot the guy on the green screen and a black magic camera, and then we put him in Unreal environment. So we basically created like few levels in Unreal, and we was translating this to the headset, so it was running on PC, and you can actually was able to be part of the experience. And yeah, that's basically it. And after this, I was working on make it more accessible for everyone who have a headset. So it's not running on a PC, but it will be in the form of immersive video. So it will be just 180 video that everyone can watch from a Quest or Vision Pro, and it's going to be ready like in a few days. And I'm going to post it. And if you're curious, you just can take a look in your headset. I think it's going to be pretty cool. So yeah, that's it. There is not much of on this video. Um, it's not really cool. So yeah, it's like part of experience here. You can see so you're like in the same jet with the rapper, and he's like singing to you, and like he's in the same field. Oh really? Okay. Okay, it's loading. Okay, so here is so you're with the guy, and he's like singing to you, and here you sitting in the same plane with him. Um, can you see? Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's it. Do you have any questions? Mhm.
So was this project kind of like like immersive storytelling experience, or like you like took a 2D music video and like transformed it into a like 3D experience video? Is that basically what the project was?
Yeah, the goal is to create something in field of immersive storytelling. So originally it's supposed to be a video, but our team decided to go like to make a step up and make it 6 DoF, so you can actually move in the environment. So for this to provide the high fidelity, we will have to use a PC and tether the headset. And original idea also was to create some type of interactions with the guy, but we didn't have much time, so it was just a narrative. And and next step, as I said, will be like three DoF experience. But yeah, it will be just a 3 DoF, but it can provide like higher fidelity for headset because it's video and you don't have to run it locally. So yeah, it will be just an immersive video. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Absolutely.
My